What's up, man? Good morning. Good morning.
Right. TJ, Malcolm. Let's see for the next 2 days. It's right here. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. This is good to see you all. TJ, Joe, Marcus, Darren, Mason. We're going to give a little more time here, but thank you all for being on time. Thank you all. Probably 3 more minutes, and then we'll just get started because we know that we always have latecomers, especially after a long break.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, TJ.
Morning, everyone, except for Darren.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Good
All
morning.
right. Just want to make an announcement, my medical brothers. I am driving cross country, 18-wheeler, headed to Vegas, living my best life, and I'll be all ears today. Concentrate on the road.
You're driving with the fam, or you driving a job, or what?
Just a friend, one of my close friends. They got some things that need to be delivered. So we teaming up, just tagging along with them. So I'm driving as well. Teaming up to go to Vegas, and then from Vegas we'll go to Grand Rapids, Michigan to drop off I think it's a bunch of car accessories and things for car shows.
But the unique thing is you're driving an 18-wheeler. I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, you did? Oh. Yeah, I have a CDL license.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I haven't exercised them in a while. Had no ambition of being a truck driver. It ain't my style.
Yeah, but you
if I-
just picked that trade up real quick though, didn't you?
That's what it is, man. If it's a backup plan, I got to get in this truck and feed the family and feed families and drop off merchandise. That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
Stop,
That's what's up.
gas station. Gas station coming up.
Okay. So we have the status on TJ. Well, let's begin. Again, thank you all for being on today. So I'm opening some documents that basically have been created this year as part of basically starting with the review. Now, I will say, I don't know why, and we can discuss this today, but last year when we were meeting about these 6 things, running the race, MEPA outreach, husbandry, fatherhood, removing the mask and passing it on. For some reason, it feels like we were more consistent. I know that's hard to say, given that if you guys remember in April, we met every week. So that was the first time we had done that. We met every single weekend in April. It was 5 weekends. And then maybe we went back to meeting every other week. And then in June, we did an event at the park. But I wanted to draw this. So let's see who's on now. Me, Mason, TJ, Joe, Marcus, Darren, and Jay. Zoom in. This is what I kind of mean. This is the team we have, so I'm going to go with it. 2021. 2022. Actually, I'll just do 2022. We won't even deal with last year. Let's say that last year, I put forth this much effort, right? Out of, if each one of these, I don't know, I'm just doing some measure. Marcus, he put forth this much. You know, I'm just drawing stuff, guys. Jay put forth this much. TJ, you know, he put forth this much. Mason, he had just started. He put forth this much. You know, Darren, boom, Joe, this. This is going back to last year. The question for this year was, how are we going to get MEPA to a different playing field? We started with personal goals, and what happened in June was our group goals took over. I know we're going back to personal goals starting today, but also still want to kind of put some emphasis here on teamwork and on teams. Let's just take Jeremiah. I'm just writing a name. And Jeremiah goes this far. He does this much personally. Obviously, that still doesn't shake a stick at whatever this was that we all did together as a team. But the question, really what I want to ask today and make sure of, and what we're measuring this year is, how are we taking MEPA to a different playing field? So for Jay, if this was his 2021 year, is he trending higher this year or lower? This is you comparing you to yourself. Going back to, well, what are we going to do this year that wasn't done last year? I'm gonna tell you guys what I told Marcus. Again, I'm still stuck on that we're only meeting every 2 weeks now. And somehow in meeting less, we're supposed to be more connected than we were last year when we met every 2 weeks. I come out of the civil rights movement and a ministry movement and a political movement. And those guys, they met every day. So once a week wasn't even enough to be connected. They actually met every day. So the goal again, hopefully for us this year as a group, is to create some type of a thing here that's a collection of all of our efforts, meaning, and one of Marcus' jobs, I'm going to draw this for you guys. One of Marcus' jobs is to align us with people, right? So I moved Jay up, right? Because he's at that level. Then I move me here. But you notice how the drawing is looking more uniform now, as opposed to this person over here doing this. There may be people that can't do but this amount. You want to put them on the edges. And in your core, you want to have it so that you kind of shape it and get the most out of it. That's our goal as a team this year. I don't have a lot today, guys, because we're getting reoriented. We're jumping into the goals. Again, we've been reading Gideon all year. Gideon is a book of judges. The first judge was Joshua. I talked to my children about this last night. There are certain type of leaders that God creates. There's certain types. Moses, he's the one-man show. Joshua, he's the team. He's about teamwork. Caleb, he's a sidekick. Then we talked about Joseph. He's the chosen one. All of us, I asked them all, who do you see yourself as? All of my children, who do you see yourself as? 10 of 12 of them said Moses. These are girls too. And I think that it was an illustration of how most people on a team, they want to be Moses. They want to be the leader. They want everyone to be on their team. I'm a Caleb in MEPA. Did you guys know that? But who are you in MEPA? Well, who do you see yourself as in MEPA? Same question could be asked. Is MEPA here to make you Moses? Are you Joseph, Joshua? There's a bunch of different roles needed in how God builds teams, because he builds them to stand the test of time, not for all people in one lifetime to be Moses. That didn't even occur in the wilderness with the children of Israel. There was only one Moses in that lifetime. So again, that was an encouragement I had to my children. I'm also encouraging us is to be more of a team. Check on each other more. Here's a question that I have. It was something that we discussed last night. It's for member services. I want to read it, actually. I want to read it because we came up with it with preparation. And you guys might have already answered this, but I'm just getting us reoriented. Member services. Those 12 guys that we took the pictures of, and then I sent you the information. How have things gone with them in the last 2 weeks? Or on the flip side, is there any feedback on that experience, given that it took me a while to get that information to you guys? But let's start with our guests from the park event with member services. How are things with them?
Is that for me? Say that again, Malcolm.
It's for member services. We met 12 guys at the Piedmont. They had given me all their information. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. There was no sign-in sheet, so the numbers all ended up on my phone. But then I got them to you guys a little late, but that was like 2 weeks ago. So the question was, how are things with them? If you guys followed up with them, any feedback? Did it take too long for you to get their names? We're just asking for a general update on the 12 guests from the Piedmont.
And you sent that to me by email because I don't remember receiving it, but I'd go back and check my email though.
Okay. Well, again, we're getting reacclimated today, guys.
Okay.
I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer. And obviously, member services is you and Frosty.
Yes.
I know I spoke to Frosty. He had asked for them, and the day that he asked is when I sent it. But let me check here, John. I'm gonna see, I'm rusty. That guy's name was man, guys. Here we go. Guest list. This was sent to Frosty, John Stevens, you, Darren, I think Sin Hobbs, Hammer Time 1960 at AOL.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, yeah, I go back. Yeah, I go back and look. Okay.
Okay. Friday,
All right.
June 24th.
June what?
June 24th, Friday, June
Okay.
24th at 1:28.
Okay, all right, I'll go. Okay, I'll drop the ball down. I'll go back and look.
Okay, just to go over this again. And Frosty, I see you on. Frosty the Snowman. Okay. Just as a reminder, Greg, his daughter was Hannah, big guy. Jeremiah knew him from a while back. He showed up. That was one of the guys, the Latino guy from 4th Ward. He ended up joining our MEPA call 2 weeks ago. He was on. His name was John. This is him. Chris Allen, polo shirt with his son. I'm sorry, guys. Let me do my job. I am recording. This is called Remembrance. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
This is, sorry, guys, this is the catch-up meeting, Marcus. We're not meeting as often, so we're just getting things back going. But I want to remind you guys of what we did on Father's Day and who these guys are. Greg, daughter is Hannah. That's this guy. That's Greg. Matter of fact, go back here. Jeffrey with 3 sons. Here's his number. That's this guy. John, Latino, 4th Ward, that joined the call 2 weeks ago. That's him. Now, I didn't call him.
I followed up with him.
You did?
Yeah, he was at work and he wanted to call me back. And so I got to give him another follow-up call because I didn't get a call back after a text and a call. But I did speak with him.
Okay.
He's excited.
Man,
White
y'all
guy
gotta
with a young
forgive
boy
me,
and
man.
girl. Go ahead, Frosty.
Yeah, I'm just waking up, man. Been working all night.
Okay.
Wasn't it only just 2 guys that showed up? It was a friend of mine's, and it was John that was on the line.
Yes.
And you said something about the numbers that you sent
Basically,
us.
yeah, I'm going back to the list of all 12 guys that we took a picture of and their contact information. This white guy here.
Okay, but it was just only 2 that showed up on the line. Is that correct? That week before last?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Marcus. Marcus Martin.
Yes, I mean, I serve you today.
Yes, sir. I want to clear this up. Again, obviously, we didn't handle this the best. What should we do with these 12 guys as of now? We know what we need to do better next time.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to address this at the end, but I might as well address it now. Everything has its place. So the protocol is what you actually did. You send it to member services, which includes John Stevens and Darren Hammond. Once they receive these numbers, a part of member services is also to deal with guests, is to reach out to these people. So and here's the thing we talked about. Once you have an event, and the event is on Saturday, someone should reach out the next day, if nothing but saying thank you for participating in our event, happy Father's Day, yada, 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 yada. And then when it's time to have Zoom call, membership services reach out and send a text to these guests, inviting them. Of course, we can't make them come, but inviting them. Any kind of information, like we don't have people's phone number by Gmail or whatever, we send a Gmail and ask them, do we mind if we have their phone numbers in order to send them the information, or we can send it by email. One of the things that's going to reassure us that it's one thing to start something, it's another thing to complete it. So we got started. However, we need to understand the power of all the working components in between to make this happen. So at this point, membership services to reach out. Let me also add, while I'm talking, it's not good enough to say we have things in place and they're not functioning. They're not functional. And when I mean functional, we have it. It's like a toilet that don't have any water in it. So once you go and dump in it, the stuff is going to sit there, and after a while, it's going to start stinking. So here's the goal of both membership services and community liaison. A part of all of this is building the MEPA brand. That's what it's about. I understand this is volunteer, but I also understand it doesn't even take 30 minutes a week or an hour a week or 15 minutes a week for this to work like it should work, especially with the goals that have been and the objectives of each one of these. Membership services is to not only inform us and keep about birthdays and meetings as such, but new members that come in is to inform them about MEPA, to encourage them to become a part of MEPA. So are we clear on that part? Darren, Frosty?
Oh, I'm clear.
Okay, which means that during the course of the week, that you all have to communicate. If there's a drop or if there something doesn't happen, it's because there's no communication. That's with anything. That's with us. That's with relationship. That's with a marriage. The goal of the community liaison is to get us out in the community. So my thing is, if I may just take a side street, what is the next thing, LaTerrence, that the next event that's going to get us out there in the community? Mic check.
Here's the reality of what's going on. Obviously,
Well,
he's traveling, he's busy, and he's not,
well,
go ahead.
Here's the thing. One of the things, if I want to know what's happening, I'm going to be talking about it. If you don't hear about it, that means nothing is happening. It's real obvious. If you don't hear about anything, if you don't hear anything about it in the text or in the chat, nothing is happening. So that has nothing to do with meeting every week or every 2 weeks, because what leaders do, leaders are proactive. And so because we are proactive, if there is no communication amongst the group, that means that thing is not functioning as it should or as it could be. And there's a lack of communication. So here's where I'm at. I would like to see some action. I would like to see, if I don't see it in a week, I will do some restructuring and we can move forward because it's going to move forward. This has been the downfall of MEPA. And I say that word and I don't use it. This has been the downfall. The downfall of MEPA has been that we start stuff, but we're not consistent in doing so. Or we don't communicate or what we're doing. So within the next week, Malcolm, if I don't hear any chatter, if I don't hear from anyone, I'm not going to call anyone and ask them what they're doing. They'll call me. I'll just make the necessary change because I do believe that it can be done and it can be done because I've seen it done with other folks. So that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Now, obviously, you know, the reason why I keep bringing up, you know, we're not meeting as frequently. When I look at, again, the other movements and how they achieve their success, their communication was actually on a daily basis, not a weekly or a 2-week basis. And not to put any of those guys down, but they did it for accountability purposes because they had to stay at the speed of the movement. The movement was moving fast. You know, the 2000 Azusa movement was moving fast. My uncle was running for mayor. That's a process. You have to execute. So I'm only saying that because it really wanting to possibly nip this in the entire bud.
Well,
Are we meeting enough?
You know what, Malcolm? You know what I come to a conclusion about in my years being an executive manager? People gonna do what they want to do when they want to do. And the people that I manage, my team at work, and it's no different from any other thing. People that gonna do what they're gonna do, they're gonna do. Whether they meet a week, whether they meet 3 weeks, whether they meet a month, they're proactive individuals. And people who are not, they're not. Here's the question that I have that is always that one of the greatest advice that a gentleman by the name of Clarence Williams he challenged me and made it real clear. If you don't have the time, you don't have the time. And I respect that. So, and no matter what is going on in my life, I have to make time for what's important, and I will. If you don't have the time, you don't have the time. And if you don't have the time,
right, I hear that. I'm telling you, Mark.
I'm gonna say this again, Malcolm.
Different. I'm talking about discipline, not time. Discipline.
Okay. Well, within discipline is time. I'm gonna say this again. For anyone, whether it's membership services, community liaison, whether you need help, whether you have the time or don't have the time. I just need to know because we can't continue to start something and don't complete it. And if I had to say this, in my career, especially with men, and I've met men from all walks of life and all socioeconomical background, Malcolm, 85% of the men that I've met in my life don't complete stuff. I'm gonna let it stay right there. 85% of the men I've met, and I've met men from all walks, they don't complete it. We're good at starting it, but we're not good at running this race, as you want to use from last year. We're not good at it. Many of us are just not good at it. And it's also representative of what our lives look like. And so understanding that everybody have their own set of challenges. We know that this is volunteer, but I just believe, according to my belief in God, above any myself, against any 85% of the men that I met in my entire life, and I met a whole lot of them, don't complete stuff. We need men, first of all, who have time and who's willing to complete stuff and take it to the next level. Whether the men are here now or whether they're on their way. If it's not happening, that means me as the CEO had to be willing to do some restructuring and try something different.
All right, I'm gonna try something different too today, because I'm gonna say this, guys. I'm gonna say this because, you know, we had a meeting last night, core leadership team, you know, and I want Jay to go over this. Two of the people on core leadership team not on this call. But Jay, this call supersedes the core leadership team call. But the core leadership team is working hard. I don't want to take anything away from what's going on. I just want do something different. So I know, Jay, you have the list. You want to go over those things? I'm going to take notes.
Sure. Let me just follow up on this last point. I kind of lean on the side of what Marcus was saying. You got people in place to do things. It's all about following up and who's covering who's back in that process. I feel like you can give people more days or you can give them less days. I think that's kind of an excuse. If you got protocols in place, it's just all about accountability and people following up, and doing it in the time that's supposed to happen. And if one person isn't on that, then there should be someone else covering their back, making sure it gets done. And that happens. That's a whole partnership cycle. I spent a whole hour on a conversation with someone last week about, choosing the right partners, choosing the right people that you have in place to make sure stuff gets done. It's all about accountability. If someone else you chose to be your partner is not holding you accountable, things are going to slack. So maybe just sit on that for a second and think that, let that kind of marinate. But anyway, what you were saying as far as about our discussion yesterday, let's see, topics that came up, notes and agenda. We already did a follow-up. We were supposed to do a follow-up on which name, if the names were sent to Frosty and Darren about the Father's Day event, which we just did. That was A. B, we're looking to do an event on a Saturday this month for the team on a healthy social activity agenda. Basically, just congregating and promoting physical and also mental health, in just a activity and congregation of all of us, upper guys, maybe doing some jogging, some walking, healthy eating, etc. Just promoting kind of the health is wealth thing. The third thing we discussed was a possible black tie event in place of the MEPA event, potentially, with the purchase of tickets / plates, with all the proceeds going to MEPA causes and agendas in 2022, 2023. The last thing was a possible MEPA outing and I mean like a real outing, a possible MEPA cruise, with members only, um, to just again promote MEPA, the MEPA brand. All these things are obviously to promote the MEPA brand in one way or another, but also just to do something for the MEPA members that we haven't ever done, which is basically just give people some time uh, away from other things they may have going on in their life that MEPA is also sponsoring. Um, and that's what that was a couple of the agenda things that we discussed yesterday.
Thank you, Jay. So, and I mean, here's the thing, you know, we should be our best us as MEPA. If our thing is rallying around one-time outreach events every year, then that's what it is. Let's put some revenues around it so we can get to the MEPA Center that way. The concept of meeting people and teaming with them or them becoming members somehow is, again, more of what we need to, as a team, do better with. But outreach-wise, I think we are very good at that. We know how to come up with ideas to bring guys in. That's been happening, from the beginning. If that's our niche and our strength, let's be our best us. Up here again, the vision for last year was running the race, not just outreach, running the race, being a husband, being a father, being transparent, having a successor. So we testing on all of these, if that's who we say that we are, what we say we're doing. Here's another big one. I want to go back to this because this is some things we did well. Code of ethics. Let me zoom in this. Zoom. So you want to be a member, okay? To be a member, you have to go by this code of ethics. And we said we would go over this once a month. As MEPA, we always uphold the code of ethics as a torch of excellence. We do not abuse our fellow brothers in our actions in meetings, events, or group gatherings. It's I and my brother's keeper. We do not share any words out of anger to hurt or belittle the brotherhood at any time. We will not use our position of power to accept gifts from other companies to win them over or disgrace MEPA in any fashion. As a member, I must stay steadfast and watch how I speak to others to earn their trust. But most of all, I didn't write this, but this is in capital letters. My integrity is my bond. I must always report wrongdoing that will hurt the organization. At no time may I decide to help a member or family to do unlawful acts against MEPA. I understand that the MEPA code is a trust that can never be broken, so I pledge to my fellow brothers to never undermine the brotherhood for any selfish ways. Then it gets into some details. We did that. We came up with that this year. Standard operating procedures, which the less we meet, this stuff is for this year, so it's effective now. About how often you have to attend meetings, this call at least, that's in here. If you guys remember that document. Oh, I'm sorry, that Damone B is Jeremiah. I didn't recognize his name. I don't know who Damone B is, guys. 1 second, we got Jeremiah coming in. He worked till 4 a.m. I know Frosty worked the overnight shift too. Another dynamic, life is a dynamic. Let's say that like right now, last year, I had no job. I was an entrepreneur last year. I had a lot of time. This year, I have 2 jobs. So being our best us, being in the communication, so that back to this drawing here. If we're in communication, people in leadership, they can structure like what we're doing for it to have its most impact so that we can have, you know, again, trying to draw something here that basically, you know, what would be the right geometric thing would be this. Yeah. You in, Jeremiah?
Yes, sir. I'm in.
All right. Let me go up here like this, and then this here like that, and this here. Right? Where are you at, like with it, like with your time? Marcus was using the keyword time a lot. Real time, what is your time level of commitment? Real time. Then we have a certain level of communication so that in the course of a year, we can advance towards the goal. I have 2 jobs. Obviously, you know, it's going to take a lot for me to rally around things now. I have, you know, 3 children in college. Next year, my 4th goes in. I'm gonna have 4 children in college at the same time for 6 years. So this time is important of what, your time is important, my time is important. You know, where are we headed with this? What are we doing as a team? Where do you fit into this equation in terms of your time level?
May I
Okay.
interject something, Malcolm?
Yeah,
You know, everyone, you have to find, for me, and this is not for everybody else, I have to find what works for me as it relates to my time. So a great deal of what I do, even communicating with most of the guys on here, is when I'm driving. If I'm driving, I utilize, because it's going to take me 40 minutes to get to work, it'll take me 40 minutes to get home. It's going to, you know, on my way to where I am, that worked for me. Here's the goal, and here's the objective. MEPA is just a vehicle. However, there are disciplines within this vehicle that can spill over not only into your personal life, but into your business. If you're in any kind of position in this incorporation, the goal is not just to promote MEPA. Please let me say that. That's narrow. That's like going to somebody's church and all they do is jump and shout. The goal of MEPA is to develop a discipline in each man that each man can become more than what he expects. In other words, I'm talking about exceedingly abundantly above what I ask or think. The goal is to build each one of us so that we can be that person that go into a whole nother arena beyond our imagination. So I know we talk about the brand, but this brand is a part of my goal as the CEO is to help each individual to be the best person they can possibly be. We talked about it. If you could go back to the Malcolm, about the things we discussed last year, that's the goal. The goal when we about running the race, MEPA outreach, those of us that are husbands. Give me 1 second to make sure my wife is not in the room. I'm just kidding. Those of us that are husbands, there are challenges that come along with it. Those of us that are fathers, there are challenges, especially when you got 12 kids. Those of us that never been able to be who we really are because we are directed and guided by subconscious things in our mind that this is wrong and never have experienced life to the full. Passing it on. Those of us that are leaders and we are about to pass our mantle. The most frustrating thing to do is even be in a business and you don't have a person who's an assistant to help you manage your life. So this whole goal is about positioning ourselves, not just for MEPA brand, but for our life, so that we can change a generation, so that your children and your nieces and your nephew don't have to go through what you've gone through. Is to leave an inheritance. That's the goal. This second part of it is we done spent time running a race. Some people ran out of the race. The MEPA outreach, how to be a good husband in your own skin, how to be a great father in your own skin, how to take the mask off and start living your life and start hiding behind the mask and being everything that everybody else wants you to be. And now you have moved to a place that you don't even know you no more. Move out of the place called performance, pass it on. So this second half of this, and I want to be clear, is to build you as a person and get an opportunity to stretch you. Until I went back into corporate America, we were not where we are in MEPA. Corporate America helped me to bring structure, not only to my own life, but to this. So I want you to be clear. This ain't just about MEPA, because I know somebody might be a little bit irritated, but however, if you're irritated, that means you can choose to be irritated, or there's something that was said that had truth to it. And that's on you as an individual. So that's the goal of it. It is never a one-minded, let's build MEPA, let's build us. Because as we build us, MEPA will get built. This is just an example of where we are in our building blocks as individuals. And Jay said it right. Yes, there has to be a level of accountability. But I look forward to the day that you don't have to keep on reminding people about a meeting on a Saturday. It's on my calendar, whether I get the note or not. So it's about building you. Don't think it's one dimensional. It's 7 dimensions. I want to see you build. I want to see each and every one of you have a successful business. I want to see you have a successful marriage. I want to see you be a great father. I want to see you mentoring somebody. That's what I would like to see. I want to see you living your best life. I want to see you going on vacation anytime you get ready, rent a private jet or whatever you want to do. Not have to go through the airport. I want to see that for you. And all of these disciplines is a part of it. And now you're working with a team, membership services, community liaison. If you can build this, you can build your own. But if you can't build this, chances are you'll never be trusted to build your own.
Hey, Malcolm. Marcus, well said. Well said. Hey, Malcolm, can you do me a favor? There is 2 things that I need. I know we talked about telling the group what we need. There's 2 things that we need to talk about and even have a meeting about is branding. Branding, this touches base what Marcus is saying, branding, and also tools. Tools and branding is what we have to talk about, because when we're out, we have the website, we can point them to the website, but also we need tools so that when we are out in these community events, we'll be able to put these tools of resources that we provide or whatever we have together, if it's on a flashcard or whatever. So branding and toolboxes, talk about what we got in our toolbox to work with. Because Marcus made a good point. When you have your own business, these are things that you have to work off of, and you can just transfer what you already have to the organization, or from the organization to your own business. MEPA literature.
So
want to put that
you said branding and toolbox.
Yeah, that means the literature. MEPA literature on MEPA.
Okay.
If I'm going into the city council meeting or somewhere, need some literature to just drop in somebody's hand, and
I understand.
because
You're talking about the pamphlet.
all right,
The pamphlet.
trifold,
Yeah.
bifold, one fold, whatever. And I don't know, we got T-shirts that are from the member service, but I need to know who are we going to talk to in the group to help to get that literature printed so we can hit the page. boots on the ground.
Hey, Malcolm, this is Darren. I have a question. Do we have a pamphlet in reference to MEPA?
No, we do not. Yeah,
But
that
what we
actually, that
what
actually
we
is,
do have
Go ahead.
is a website and a Facebook page. Can I tell you something? And I'm not saying that doesn't work. It can work. Is it cost effective? A lot of time people throw stuff on the ground. I mean, that's the risk you have to take. But how many of us drive people to our website? How many of us drive people to our Facebook page? How many of you go to the website? How many do you go to the Facebook page? You know, we could, and I think all these are great ideas. And yes, we do need these things. And even one time, Jay and some other the brothers who've been here for a while talked about having business cards. All of that is great. But if they get stuck in your pocket,
right.
you know, if they get stuck in your pocket, or if they get stuck in your glove compartment of your car, your office desk, at the end of the day, these things are great and they're awesome. But how is nothing like being that individual that people will, because there's something so great that's exuberating out of you, that they stop and just start talking to you. Because again, it's not just about MEPA, brothers. It's about your success in your own personal life. I'm more concerned about the success in your personal life, because when success show up in your personal life, this is a drop in the bucket. That's my number one goal, is success in your personal life. Because when success show up in your personal life, you're forced. Like Malcolm said, Malcolm is working 7 to 7 every day. During the course of the day, we take time to talk to each other for many reasons. However, so that's our line of communication. So when success show up in your personal life, it shows up in every area of your life. So here's my question. Take a good look at your life, see where you want to be, see the areas that you need to grow in. And I guarantee anything as it relates to MEPA, even getting directions, even all of this stuff we've been talking about, you will see that no one will be questioning anybody about anything, because you will learn how to communicate. And here it is. I told someone this today, and I know that different people are going through different things. The test of who a person is not when everything is going great. That's not the test. The test of who a person is when everything is going wrong. And can you still hear, and can you still be focused? The test of those of you that are believers is not how much you read the Bible, or how much you read the Quran, or how much you read what you read. The test of who you are is when nobody is looking, and you can still be consistent about what you are doing in your assignment. That's the test. My question is, are you going to take the test today and hold yourself accountable? If we come up with one more idea and put ideas on the top of ideas, we are setting ourselves up for failure. Because every level requires a level of strength. So we still back at ground one. Time and time management. And also I need to add, Malcolm got 20 children. I'll be listening on the phone. I listen about at least 7 of them gonna come in the room while we're on the phone. And I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but if this guy can be challenged like this, walk in a level of excellence as it relates to these past few years, a few bumps in the road with him, cussing a couple of us out, but that's under the bridge.
All right, brother.
You know, If he can do that with all them set of challenges, and I hear him and I see him, and now he working 12-hour days and still on these Zoom calls and sending messages out. Come on, brother. Come on now.
Hey, Marcus. Hey, Marcus. I've noticed, if you can hear me, I've noticed whenever I talk to you on the phone or when we talk, I don't know if you're consistent in this, but you always ask, where are you in life? That's just paraphrasing what you're asking is, where are you and what are your challenges? What's going on with you? Do you believe sometimes when you ask that question, if you asking it to the other brothers, do you believe that they're being honest with themselves when they're talking to you?
Well, you know what, LaTerrence, you know, can I say it like this? Can I say it the way the old Marcus said, Jay? If Jay said I can say it, I'll say it.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. I need permission. I don't really care whether they're honest with me or not. Because sometimes it's like waiting on a bus or a train. When they pull up, you can choose to get on and ride and pay your fare. You can choose to stand there and wait for the next bus to come along. Here's the thing about it. I make an effort not to judge others. And if it sounds like I'm judging, I'm not judging, I'm just giving you the facts. I make an effort to leave myself open and to empower people. I'm real clear at 65, about to be 66 in a couple of months. I'm real clear about my assignment. My goal is not whether they're honest with me. My goal is whether they're honest with themselves. And sometimes we don't know how to be honest because the things that we've gone through has really, it's been a blow to us. And some of us have lost ourselves. I'm more concerned about you being the best person. If that means taking you in stages or you're going in stages, I'm good with it. I'm good with that, you know. Because sometimes, can I say this? Can I say this, Jay? No, I'm gonna go to Joe. Can I say this, Joe? I need permission from Joe.
Go ahead, lay it on.
Because the real truth, thank you, Joe. The real truth of the matter, you know, we got the saying, keeping it 100. I ain't met nobody yet, even me, who keep it 100. But you know, 100 will get you in trouble, LaTerrence. 100, if we 100, that means I'm gonna tell you everything I think. And you may not be able to handle my everything. If you tell your wife, you know, I hear some of you say, my wife is my best friend. She might be your best friend, but you ain't 100. Because 100 and get you in a divorce court. Most of us are about 85 on a good day, and 90 after a stiff drink. So I have come to understand whatever the brothers want to share, I'm going to respect them. And when they give me that little door that they crack, if I see a crack in the door, then, and they allow me to come in, I'm going to come on in. And that's one of the things I found out. And also, all I know is that I've had the opportunity to be blessed to be in the presence of some of the greatest men I ever met in my life, outside of Darren Hammond. But anyway, but I really mean that. That's my heart. I really mean that. So I'm not concerned about whether they're being totally honest, because ain't none of us 100. None of us. Because if we were 100, we wouldn't be in some of the mess we in. If we were 100, we wouldn't fall into some of the challenges that we're in. So 100 and being concerned about the brother. I'm just glad.
Thank you,
came.
Marcus.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so 100, I'm just glad to be amongst brothers who I can just feed off of their gift. And I believe that the more we begin to look at each other like that, the more we can become a bond and we can get things done. Because whether you're a believer or not, here's the thing. It's the principle of a oneness that get things done. It's like we did every year before the summit. We did a bonding before those summits. And what you saw is not people who was gifting, just gifting. You saw brothers that was bonded, which made it a success. That's what you saw. And that's what it's going to take. That's why we're putting things in place now. We know we got gifted brothers. That's why we're talking about the cruise. That's why we're talking about taping for our TV show. Here's the truth, brothers. We have taken a turn and we're looking at stuff that we ain't never looked at. We're looking at stuff that we ain't talking about no Memphis Summit and coming on. We talking about running with the big wheel. We talking about running with millionaires. We talking about running with people of influence, and that can impact your business whether you know it or not. Some of you are one person away from being a multi-millionaire. You've been working hard, you've been hidden, you've been missing. There is a group of people out there to help you to get to where you're going, not just Memphis, but you as an individual. I know that sometimes Joe, want to know where this Memphis thing coming from and all the money, because he's a money man. He like money. He like money more than he like people. However, what I'm saying is this next thing, this place where we are now, brothers, and establishing a new relationship and everything, that is where we're going. Community liaison, setting that thing up. As you set it up, God gonna set up stuff for you. Frosty and Darren, as you set this thing up, God gonna set up things for you. Whatever your belief system, these are principles. And that's all I want to look at. I've been talking too much, but this has been on my heart for the past couple of weeks. I want to be clear about in this hour, I want to promote you. I want to promote your businesses. I want to promote your relationships. I want to promote your children. I want to be able to put you in a position that for generations, your family is set up for generations. When you gone on wherever you believe you're going when you leave here, that's where you can rest assured when you close your eyes that you have left something in the earth, not only for your family, but for the world. I'm through preaching. You can cash out me at Marcus, $ Marcus Martin 12. And that's all I got to say. But really though, I'm real passionate about this, brothers. I want, if you can grab a hold that this is going to help you, not just Memphis, it's going to help you. We need to get in places that we have not been in. And those of you that are over these different membership services and community liaison and the core leadership group, you are key to this. And because you are key, that means you're going to benefit more than anyone else because you have made sacrifice. And these are principles. And don't forget to cash out me your offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Marcus. All right, Jeremiah, you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we went over this, so passing it to you, sir. It's 10:05. Couple of things after this. Again, basically did a little accountability and catch up, Jeremiah. Come back off mute, Jeremiah. It's back to you, bro.
All right.
You remember these 4 items from last night and any
Yes,
follow-up?
indeed.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing is the meeting that we did have, our get together, our event. First thing is to our
Jay, you going in and out. Your audio. Jeremiah? All right, while he gets it back up, again, just to be focused, guys, and thank you for being on today. We wanted to follow up on membership services. And we have some outreach ideas. But ultimately, we also discussed what is the level of time, real time, that we can commit to MEPA. And being holding ourselves accountable on July 9th on what our time commitment can be to MEPA. Who are we missing today? Hold on, let me see.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you again.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Man, wow. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so was Frosty and Darren, if they already have that, if they have that list of those individuals, have they already reached out to them, and where are we with those individuals? Just asking.
Yeah, they already reached out. Jeremiah, that we actually went over this. This is you. It was like we went
Well,
over
no,
all
it's for
the
Frosty,
highlights.
really. We just trying to get Jeremiah and Frosty. This is like he would ask Frosty for an update on member services. Frosty would,
I
Yeah,
was told to ask
you
for an
already.
update on the because of the guys and that has came or given their number to you guys, and it was passed down the list for me to ask for the information because it was something that I was unaware of at the time. But still, it is no excuse the reason why I haven't directly reached out to them despite what's going on. That's my responsibility, that's personal. But when it comes to the group, it's something totally different. So I slacked on that. I can only point myself out for what I'm guilty of. And that day you told me to Jeremiah to reach out to I forgot the dude's name. I reached out to him, but he said he was busy and then called me back, and that never happened. So I reached back out to
Okay,
him, and
gotcha.
he said they'll call me back and X, Y, and Z. But for as the list whatnot, for the past couple of weeks, but I should have put all of that negative energy, what I had going on with me, myself, or my job, and used the positive and did the outreach towards the brothers of the list. But I was.
Okay. All right. So
I don't know what else to say. My bad
yeah.
on that.
Yeah, so that's cool. I just didn't know what the status was with it, and just want to piggyback on it because we did have a CLT meeting, and I think that was one of the things that we talked about that I couldn't really put a finger on where we are with it. So that's the reason why I brought it up. I didn't know you all had already talked about that. I think Jay, you were saying you already kind of brought that up, but
Yeah,
I didn't even know y'all already had done that.
a little
So
bit. Jeremiah, let me just with Frosty. I just want to follow up with that whole what you just said. And this goes for Darren or anyone else who's trying to reach out to somebody, man. If you guys are having trouble reaching out to people, or they giving you, you're getting basically the runaround. Hey, man, don't feel like you're the only one out there who has the responsibility. You got the title, sure, to do that, but we in it with you. That's my whole point. Is hey, hit me up, shoot me a text. Say, hey man, I'm having trouble with so and so, or I may not have all the time that I need, and we can jump in, bro. We can jump in and help out. That's the whole thing about MEPA. Like Marcus said,
And that,
it's not all about brand this, brand that. It's all about just
and I appreciate that,
having each
Jay.
other's back. It's about
yeah,
having each other's back
Pass it
and
on.
and
yeah,
and and and, and getting it
we are a
done.
support. We're a support group.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well,
great.
I appreciate that. And by this being
Going
something
forward.
that's new and push it forward, like you said, by it being something new, what I just, from now, for what just happened, I noticed what you just said, but it's like, I just felt like it was blast. And it kind of made me feel good in a way because it made me feel like I'm slacking somewhere. But wait until 2 weeks later to come online and just blast on somebody like you. Okay,
May I
I
say something?
appreciate it.
Let me interject. Nobody is blasting anyone. That's the first thing. We don't do that. We have discussion as men.
Well, there's a discussion, but still, it's like just calling you out. Like,
Okay, let's
did you
be
do X,
realistic.
Y, and
Yeah.
Z? Go
Let
ahead.
me say,
I'm here.
let me say this. Let's say this. We all men. Nobody's blasting anyone. We have already had a conversation about this one-on-one, so we're not blasting. It is important and imperative that everybody know what's going on. And the way to keep everybody informed, we have a text line. And here it is. I have to take responsibility, Marcus Martin. I have to take responsibility, Marcus Martin, that sometimes I'm not always 100. Some days I'm 25. You can't allow yourself to look like it's being blasted, because that's the easy way out. It doesn't empower you to look at it like that. It just doesn't. And nobody's looking at it. We're having a discussion, and either Marcus, you did it, or either you did. Once I take responsibility, I need to come up. I'm moving on and I'm gonna get it done. But I hope and pray that nobody feel like they're on blast you. Either you're doing it or you're not. I mean, it's just real simple. And we appreciate what anybody does. So, but we have to, again, we have to raise our consciousness on a higher level, so that that we don't allow ourselves to look at that more than we look at the truth of the matter. Because there's room for improvement in all of us. You know what I mean? That's just a healthy way to look at it. You know, we all come short, including Marcus, believe it or not. But
I'm still gonna stir a pot a little bit. I am blasting, if anything. One thing I'm blasting is I don't think we're meeting enough. But I know, again, I said if we're gonna go to the root of it, we were meeting every week. We started doing this stuff, then we went back to meeting every 2 weeks, and it's the communication is falling off and the time is falling off.
that ain't got nothing to do with time, Malcolm. That got to do with individuals who choose not to communicate during the course when we're not talking. Do I talk to you almost every other day?
Sure, yes.
You know why? You choose to listen, and I choose to talk. So it's that those of us who have built that kind of bond with each other, we're going to communicate more. I mean, that's just plain and simple. I communicate. I talk to Joe. I hadn't talked to Joe since the outreach thing. And so I made an effort to call it. Those of us that have the time to bond, we bond. And people go bond on different levels. It is what it is. And so what we have to do is think on a whole nother. It ain't enough to have things in place, brothers. If your head is where it was last year, that's what you're going to produce. It takes a healthy mental health mindset in order to look past what people say and walk at a level of truth. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not, you know, you do what you do, Malcolm, but we have to think in a healthy headspace. And if the truth had to be told, even though we're not a church, there's a place for healing in Malcolm, and deliverance, and empowerment. I promise y'all I ain't gonna say nothing else, because ain't nobody cash out me no money since I've been preaching.
That's a good statement, because you know, one thing that I did learn from Neville, I'll tell you this right here. My takeaway is if something is too, and I'm talking directly to what John was saying, and I'm gonna say John because I'm saying that as to brother to brother. If something is too heavy, ask for help. No matter what's going on, if something's too heavy, just ask for help. Just reach out.
That's a segue, you know, we, you know, me and Marcus was talking about that this week. Do you have somebody, even if it's not one of us, guys, do you have somebody that you can talk to in the clutch to make sure you don't make a bad decision that takes all of your life and throws it away? That's kind of what I got from Memphis brothers I can call like that now. We just want to hang out with y'all a little more too, but I'm saying if you don't, we don't know you. This is real stuff, you know, just trying to be a brother's keeper, like the code of ethics says. So, but no, definitely, if I'm blasting anything, it's the time. I'm not blasting that John did this and that when, like Marcus said, I was cussing people out. I mean, I shouldn't even be in Memphis. But I did have to say, guys, I cussed y'all out. I'm sorry. I cussed y'all out. That's, you know, anyway. I'm trying to give Jeremiah his time with these four points. Jeremiah, by the way, the reason that you didn't hear that part is because, you know, you overworked. But we have Travis, Jacoby, and Marlon that are not on today out of the 12 guys. Anybody know what's going on with them? Not the new guys, but just the 3 in the group.
As I said before, and I've talked with Jeremiah, and I'm talking again, y'all, because I want to get to the next level. If there's someone, of course, those of you know that Hogan, I want you to be in, those of you that whatever your belief system is, that's what I have to say now, because we have all kind of belief systems that's going to be coming into Memphis. You need to get prepared and ready for it. Jacoby is presently incarcerated. He's still incarcerated. He's been there now for about 3 months. I've been reaching out to his family to find out what's going on. I've been reaching out to the information, the limited information I have about his situation. So just those of you that pray and talk to God, please talk to God about him. Marlon, even though he's going through something tragically, it probably would help if some of us outside of myself was just call and just check on him and text him. And Travis, I'm being brutally honest today. As much as I love him, he's my dog. But let me say this: if time part of what you are doing, we are not talking about kicking him out of Memphis. We're talking about maybe finding something else different to better serve him, especially because of his hours and not being able to participate in the group as far as the leadership, the core leadership group. I believe when we start making these type of decisions, these hard type of decisions, you're gonna see us move forward and as leaders. And it's time to address all of these things, you know. And let me say this to you, Frosty. We talk almost every other day. I can help you get it done. I don't want you to feel like you're an island. I know you've gone through some illnesses and dealing with some health challenges. However, as I said to you the other day, if these guys don't know that you're going through a health challenge, they don't know. But if I know you're going through it, it's not always my business to tell everything, because there is a thing in code it's called confidentiality. Let me say it now. Frosty went through a very traumatic illness that he dealt with. It's his business if he tells. But when you don't see brothers, or they're part of over a particular, should I say, department in Memphis, call and reach out to them. But on the other hand, we got to get healed in some areas that's keeping some of us bound. And I'm not talking about our personal life. I'm talking about stuff in our subconscious, and I'm sorry, Jeremiah, to interrupt, but it's time to move this train forward. And you know what I'm talking about. If it ain't working, don't keep letting a junkyard sitting in your front yard because they're gonna bring your property value down.
Back to you, Jeremiah, but honestly, bro, you know, I do need you to help me out in my house with that dry rotted wood.
Absolutely.
All right, well, go ahead. These other three
Okay.
things, man. These other three.
Okay. So
Hey, Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
Malcolm, I got a question. The next outing, right?
Relieving myself from that. There's some contractors I'm about to cut off because of that very reason. Just you're not able to depend on people like that in the field. So hence the reason why I was late into the meeting, you know what I'm saying, today. Because I got off 4:30 this morning, you know, so I did oversleep, you know. Are we gonna have shortcomings? Yes. Do I feel judged? Do I feel, like, Malcolm is jumping on me and nothing like that? No, I don't. I feel like we are all brothers, and I feel like you all support me. You know what I'm saying? And we support each other. So Frosty, I don't want you to feel that we are jumping on because that's not what we do. You know what I'm saying? When I brought it up, that was not my intention. So if it came off that way, that just let you know that was not what my purpose of doing that. I've been asking about it, for a couple of weeks, and I personally should have called you. I text you a couple of times in between, but I didn't call you, so I probably should have done that. So there are areas where we all could do better, or whatnot. So just giving you heads up on that. The other three things on the list. The second thing. So the second thing on the list is just like we had this event passed for Father's Day. One thing I feel like we need is outside of business, and these three things, well, two of these three things that I'm gonna talk about are outside of business. So this one is something that I'm looking at possibly doing, and I already put a date on it just so we can move forward. It's just for us to again meet in person. We all just meet in person. We all get together, and it's the whole purpose of it is a social / health type of situation. So I've already spoken to the CLT about it, and what we're looking at is, we get out together to the belt line or some kind of park or whatnot. And for those of us who, are willing and prepared to do a run, you can go run the jog. And those who want to walk can walk. But after we do that, and then we'll get together and go to like a Planet Smoothies close by or a little shop. It's all social. So it's not anything structured, no need for donations and events and call this person and call that person. All that is not necessary. It's really just for us, just to get together. And I was looking at the 23rd of this month. And I'm looking at the evening too, because by then we would have gone through our whole day. We just getting together just as brothers. we could do that, which won't cost us anything, you know what I'm saying, just for us to just hang out, and walk and jog or whatnot. We could do that. That's salubrious for us. However, we can on that same day decide to do like a because we've been talking about Top Golf for a long time. We can either decide to do Top Golf, you know, on a Saturday evening, you know what I'm saying? And for us to go out, that would cost us a little bit more money. It would cost us a little bit, you know, just a little planning as far as time and all that. But that's one thing that I have in mind for the 23rd in the evening. We haven't even secured a time. It's just something that we're the day that we're just thinking like, hey, we're
Is that this month
providing
or
the
next month?
opportunity for us all to get together. You know what I'm saying? And then
July,
the next thing is
July,
July.
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
about the MEPA
Okay.
Summit. Coach mentioned like doing either or you know, us doing the summit like we've done, you know, successfully annually. We could do that like we've been doing in the past year, or we could do like a black tie event, which would be totally different. It would be a totally different structure, a totally different planning and delegation process, which will entail, you know, a black tie, you know, dressing up, you know, probably have a theme or whatnot, but you know, it's a catered event, and plates are, you know, $150, which goes towards the cause for what we are what MEPA is about. So, you know, it's almost like a donation kind of a thing. So you're paying for a meal, but yet a little extra towards the donation of MEPA and what we are about. To be honest with you, I'm open to either or. I actually like this idea. I think that's a you know, I think it's a great strategy. However, it will take, like I said, a different strategy and a different delegation. Our liaison, Pastor TJ, he's definitely going to have to be involved in making that happen. And also the success of it is on the individuals that we contact, you know, and it also depends heavily on the relationships that we build between now and then. So well, I'm talking organizational relationships. So, you know, we're able to get individuals to support we're able to get individuals to support us through the whole towards that event, getting them to come and participate. All right. Then lastly is an idea that both myself and Coach talked about yesterday, and I think that this is you know, I think this is definitely something that I know I need personally. But if we did, just imagine if we us all men set a date time for a couple of days or so, probably like a 3-day type of situation where we go on a cruise, a vacation, to get away from everything, our businesses, our families, our life, you know what I'm saying, the normacy of our lives. Like, but we are able to get together as brothers and we go on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise before. So, you know, that's something that I love that idea. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we haven't done before. And I think that's also something that's good for us. That's something good for us in our relationship, our social. That actually encompasses everything, you know, all together. You know what I'm saying? Supporting each other, being there for each other, relaxing, you know, just being able to just let our hair down and just hang out and chill. You know what I'm saying? And have a great time. It is I think that's definitely needed. So those three things we talked about, and I just wanted to bring that up.
Awesome. Agreed. This cruise, again, those type of events make it where we never question each other because we hung out in a bunk bed with each other, you know. Some of this stuff we would just do it. So I love that idea. You know, how do we make that one happen?
Yeah. Hey, Jeremiah, you open for a suggestion with the Stone Mountain event. I was thinking about something. My wife and I we come together real close because we were doing those interaction, you know, workout things that you and I were talking about. And one of the things that I wanted to throw in there is that Stone Mountain has an incline. And if it's possible, if we do all meet the Stone Mountain, if we can all go up the mountain together and come down together, you know, that may build the core of the group. You know, we just go up. I don't know if Marcus goes up the mountain, but, you know, I like the idea.
Yeah, okay, so that's another type of event for basically team building, brotherhood building, us hanging out, because we're trying to do like some major things. Some of us still really ain't even hung out.
Hey, Mason got his hand up. He want to say something.
Well, Mason, just come on in, man.
He got a new haircut, y'all.
I like it.
Stay clown. Had to get a new haircut. Hold on.
Go ahead, bro.
So I think it'll be healthy for us to kind of meet in person, whether it's like normal events such as jogging or walking, or maybe even just a dinner to sit down and kind of communicate face to face. Because, you know, when you can talk to someone in person, it's a lot different than communicating over just, you know, calls and whatnot. So I feel like we can connect on another level when meeting in person and kind of connecting and talking about topics. I feel like topics can be broken down easier when we're all at a table, you know, communicating directly.
Yep.
Yes, it works.
Little do you know, before the pandemic, Mason, when we did this like every other week, we would meet for breakfasts, man. And I tell you, it was the best thing, like the
Really?
best part about MEPA that I ever knew. It will always be the face-to-faces. And we are going to get back to that. I know we're just kind of dancing around dates these last couple of months, but I feel like we will get back to every other week at least, face-to-faces. And I'll tell you another thing, just on FYI, the best time I ever got to know Marcus is when we took a trip to Panama City and this man showed his whole behind.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Well, we can't tell
Hold
you all
on.
the details. We can't tell you all the details, but man, boy, oh boy. That was the best time ever. I'm talking
Well,
about
let's
cruise
tell
right there. Y'all ain't seen nothing
if
yet.
we gonna tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Let me tell you what happened.
I don't know how you can come back from that one now.
Let me tell you what happened. We were all drinking vodka. That's what it was.
Blame it on
That's what
alcohol.
promoted it. That's what promoted it. So they want to pick on me. But we were drinking. For those of you who can't handle this, I suggest you get out of MEPA.
Oh man.
Jay had went to the store and bought. Jay had me drinking vodka, something that I don't do. I'm saved.
Right. I had you drinking. Okay. That's what we going with. Okay. Okay. All right. That's cool. We'll leave it there.
I believe, Coach. Jay probably did have you twist.
I got you. Oh wow.
Jay and Jeremiah.
Wow.
They didn't get a
Every
full
team,
explanation.
man, it's a beautiful thing when we get together. So I agree 100% with you, Mason. Man, I'm ready for us to really collaborate and huddle up and have some fun, and it'll give us energy on everything that was said about what all we were talking about. It would definitely contribute to that. It would take us continually going up. And I know that the things that we just mentioned, we can accomplish these things. I know we can. You know, we've done almost everything else, you know, so it's just a matter of just continuing moving forward. That's all. We can do this.
Well, let's do the next meeting with breakfast, and maybe some of those people that keep on saying they want to come to Atlanta, maybe they can put it on their schedule. That live below Georgia can come and be a part of that. That may be out of town, being that they're
Well,
retired.
that our next meeting is on the 23rd, and that's the same day that I was suggesting that we do meet in person. You know, to do that, whatever we decided to do it.
Well, let's do it.
So
Let's do it. Let's make it a date and stop talking about it and be about it.
That's right. Let's go.
Absolutely. So while we're on the phone right now, can we just decide what we're going to do? That was my whole purpose of bringing it up, because you know, that's why I just threw some ideas out there. So either, you know, we talking about Top Golf, that encompasses both, you know, both goals, meeting in person and sitting, you know, we're able to sit down and.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Can we consider the walk on the trail and eating something healthy?
Yeah, cause that Stone Mountain is for real. And if you ain't never been
I
up,
want to go up.
yeah, you want to go up, but if you ain't been up in a while, it's gonna be something for you. Cause
I'm gonna bring
I'm
the
with a
water,
group.
fellas. I got the cool.
I'm with a group that go up every Sunday, and if you ain't worked out in a while, it will get you. You know, so level ground would be good on that other suggestion that, you know, the Beltline or some other location.
Hey, I got the water, so we can start planning right now. I got water. Who got the
I
other
got
snack?
coolers. I got
Cooler
coolers.
with the water.
I got coolers and ice.
Okay, I got the water. Who got the snacks?
Who got the what? The snacks? What kind
Who
of
got the
snacks you
snacks?
want?
I got the
Healthy snacks. We
MREs.
talking about healthy snacks.
Yeah, what?
Got the vodka.
Oh, wow.
I got the
Man.
MREs.
Man.
Hey, why it's on my mind to add to that level of going to a cruise? Hey, I would love to go to the Smithsonian Museum in DC. That's free if you plan it right. I mean, you would have to pay for the hotel and so forth, but entering that place, if you book it, it don't cost us nothing to go in there.
So the reason I like the cruise is because you have the money, you pay it, you get away for 3 days or something like that, and then you come back. So we all have different things. So what are we actually going to do on the 23rd? How do we come up with this decision?
Well, that's what what I'm understanding is that as of right now, we're deciding to do Stone Mountain. We're agreeing unanimously, excuse me, to do Stone Mountain. Now we need to talk about what time and then go from there.
Actually,
23rd
Joe
of
mentioned
what month?
about if you hadn't did Stone Mountain in a minute, you might want to do the flat surface.
Yeah.
Like what was the first thing that you had mentioned, Jeremiah, about
Well, I'll tell you about Stone Mountain. I've done both. I've ran all the way up. It take you about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how fast you move. And then if you want to go around the mountain, that's 5 miles. So if you want to run it or you want to walk it, it's 5 miles. So just giving you heads up, around the mountain is longer. The harder one going up the mountain is shorter.
As men, we need a balance.
You had mentioned something about the Beltline walk, though.
Right.
So
that is flat.
Beltline.
Yeah, that one is flat, and we and with that one we would decide what part of the Beltline we want to go to. And I would say if it was up to me, I would do Beltline West Side, which is towards West End and West End Mall, that side of the town. The reason being is because of parking. There's almost every time I've gone there, there's always parking, and it's a little bit more shaded than downtown Beltline.
Is there like
And on top of that,
You're absolutely right.
and on top of that, there are more eateries
Yeah.
along that side.
That's awesome. That's what I was
But
asking.
Mud,
That's awesome.
Another plus is Marcus is not far from that location.
Okay.
Okay.
What,
Meaning
Mud?
he'll be there.
Okay.
Well, where you talking about?
Marcus,
Can y'all hear me?
Stone Mountain.
Oh, you said so, TJ? You still talking about Stone Mountain, or we talking about the? Are we talking about the Beltline?
Jeremiah, he trying to be funny. That's what he trying to do. That's what he trying to
You
do.
guys hear me?
Trying to be smart.
Guys,
Hey, hold on. Hey, Frosty trying to say something, guys.
Oh, Frosty.
What month?
This month.
2 weeks.
The
from today.
23rd.
July
I
The
won't be able to do
23rd,
it.
guys. The date was the 23rd.
Guys, so we got Beltline and Stone Mountain. Everyone just, I'm gonna go first here. Beltline. TJ.
Stone Mountain.
All right. Marcus.
Beltline.
Jeremiah.
Beltline.
Jay.
I would say Beltline first, and then maybe we try to Stone Mountain the next event.
Okay, Frosty.
I agree.
I can't agree to it. I won't be there.
You still
I
get a
just
vote,
left
man.
out.
Come on, man. Which one?
Where you gonna be, Frosty? Hey, Frosty.
I just left out. Normally I've been gone for 3 weeks to a month at a time.
If you was here, which one? Come on.
Come on,
Go
which
ahead.
one?
Pass. Go ahead.
Nah,
Okay, Darren,
Beltline, Beltline.
Okay, Beltline, awesome. All right. Darren.
Beltline.
Magic City is not on there, Darren. We're not going to Magic City.
Yeah, you go to Magic City now.
Mason.
I mean, at this point, it's a clear winner.
Okay, Joe.
Beltline.
All right, guys. Anyway, like he
Hey, we
said,
got
look,
Mike
it's if we do it every 2 weeks, we need another one after that. So that doesn't
What
rule
about
Stone
T?
Mountain out.
What about t-shirts for presidents, man? I got a black shirt and that ain't gonna work. How can we get those white Memphis t-shirts?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. We are not trying to make it an event, and it's really something where we are just getting together. I'm not calling none of my friends to come out here. You know what I'm saying? It's just for us to see. I want to see Mason. I want to see Darren. You know, I know you're not gonna be there, Darren and Frosty, but I'm just saying I want to see my brothers. You know what I'm saying? My MEPA brothers. So
Darren could be here
it's not.
Darren could be if he wanted to.
All right, I gotta add on top of this, just y'all think
It is
it's-
on my calendar to come to Atlanta that weekend. It's already on my calendar.
That's what's
Okay.
up.
Now,
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just.
Hey, you gonna be the star of the show, Darren.
Well, I'm gonna say this: if Darren comes to Atlanta that weekend, we're not gonna be in any shape to be walking that.
Yes, sir.
And we taking Jay with us that night. So Jay
No.
won't be in a shape. Also.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Mm-mm.
I think we covered a lot today, guys. We're pretty much done. Anything else for today?
You know what? I think this was an excellent meeting. No, I don't think it was an excellent meeting. We got some things done. Everyone is in good spirit. We got one of the greatest teams that anybody could have. We're gonna take advantage of it. Unless somebody just need to get some off your chest, I'm happy. That's all I got to say.
I got
Anybody-
something to get off my chest.
We know what we know
I
what's
just-
on your chest.
I got something to get off my chest. No, for real, man. What I have to say is, I love y'all, man. For real.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
powerful. I like
Yeah,
that. I
man.
love your brothers.
Yeah, we
I'm
love
looking
you
forward
too,
to
brother.
meet y'all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love everybody except for Darren.
I'm trying, we went Dugan's. Remember, that's so long ago, man. We went to Dugan's.
Well, no, we
Yeah,
can't
that
let
was
you
during
go.
the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
We can't let you go to Dugan's, Malcolm. That's so real.
I ain't going nowhere with y'all. I ain't going nowhere with y'all.
And then we got to let Mason start talking more, because we want to tap into some of his white friends. We need some white boys to come and join us. And
All right.
he got a lot of white friends. So
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nonstop.
That's what's up. Great meeting,
All
y'all.
right,
Great,
guys. Great meeting.
great
Great
meeting.
meeting.
Great
Be in
meeting.
contact through the text. Look forward to the 23rd. We'll get the information out to others. You know, but it's no pressure. It's no work. We're hanging out, walking the belt line, getting something to eat, walking back.
Mhm.
All right, you guys. Have a great Saturday.